Namo Aditafa. Thanks so much for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This wonderful sound calls us back to our true home. The second mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing, and oppression. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and learn ways to work for the well-being of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I will practice generosity by sharing my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in real need. I'm determined not to steal and not to possess anything that should belong to others. I will respect the property of others, but I will prevent others from profiting from human suffering or the suffering of other species on earth. For our Dharma lessons, we've been reading Taming the Monkey Mind, A Guide to Pure Land Practice by Buddhist scholar Cheng Wei-an and Dharma Master Suddhisukha. Today we're continuing in Appendix 2, which is Introduction to Pure Land Buddhism by Dr. J.C. Cleary. Pure Land Literature. Pure Land literature offers many stories presented as real-life biographical accounts which corroborate the efficacy of Pure Land practice and the description of Pure Land paradise drawn from the scriptures. Like most Buddhist biographies written in China, these accounts are very terse and focus on the subject's religious life. There are stories of men and women, monks and nuns, nobles and high officials, and commoners too, people young and old, in various stations of life, all devoted to Pure Land practice. The stories often relate people's early experience of Buddhism and note the various practices they took up and the scriptures they studied. In due time, as the stories tell it, their faith in Pure Land is awakened, perhaps by meeting an inspirational teacher, perhaps through a dream or vision, perhaps from hearing the Pure Land scriptures, perhaps from personal acquaintance with a devoted Pure Land practitioner. The stories always make a point of the zeal and dedication of the true believer in reciting the Buddha name. Here are some typical descriptions. He cut off his motivation for worldly things and dedicated his mind to the Pure Land. He concentrated his mind on reciting the Buddha name. She recited the Buddha name with complete sincerity. He set his will on the Pure Land. She recited the Buddha name day and night without stopping. He recited the Buddha name single-mindedly. She developed the mind of faith and recited the Buddha name tirelessly. She turned her mind to Buddha name recitation and practiced it wholeheartedly, never slacking off. The older he became, the more earnest he was in reciting the Buddha name. This is the message of the Pure Land stories. The climax of a typical Pure Land biography comes in the subject's death scene, when Buddha name recitation is rewarded and the Pure Land teachings are confirmed. The believer dies peacefully, even joyously, with mind and body composed in full confidence of rebirth in paradise, reciting the Buddha name. Often the Pure Land devotee is able to predict his or her own death in advance and calmly bid farewell to loved ones. Sometimes the believer receives reassuring visits from Amitabha in dreams or visions to prepare her or him to face the end. Various signs give proof that the dying person is about to be reborn in the Pure Land. Uncanny fragrances and supernatural colored lights fill the room. Celestial music is heard. Flowers from the Pure Land appear. Yellow lotuses, green lotuses, golden lotuses. The dying person sees Amitabha coming from the west to welcome him, or feels Amitabha's hand on his head, or sees Amitabha accompanied by Kuan Yin and Shi Chi appear to lead him to paradise. The dying person sees visions of the Pure Land, Amitabha and his companions seated on a jeweled dais, or the 7 jewel ponds, or a staircase of gems leading up to the Pure Land. Those close to the dying believer receive assurances that rebirth in the Pure Land is imminent. In the most frequent motif, the dying person announces to his or her companions, "Buddha is coming to welcome me." The dying person's relatives dream of a lotus opening in the Pure Land's jewel pond, with their reborn kinsmen appearing inside it. Or the relatives see visions of the deceased riding off to the west on a green lotus. Or the dead person visits the survivors in dreams and assures them that she has indeed been reborn in the Pure Land. After the person dies, the people in the room perceive a magical fragrance and hear celestial music gradually fading away toward the west. A golden lotus might appear on the deathbed or on top of the coffin. The dead believer's corpse does not decompose. Auspicious colored clouds hang over the funeral pyre. With elements like these, the death scenes in Pure Land biographies are meant to prove to the faithful that rebirth in the Pure Land is indeed the guaranteed fate of those who recite the Buddha name. Besides collections of believers' biographies, Pure Land literature includes other types of works designed to promote faith in the Pure Land teachings. Many commentaries were composed on the sutras basic to Pure Land Buddhism: the Amitabha Sutra, the Contemplation of Amitabha Sutra, Meditation Sutra, and the Sutra of Infinite Life, the longer Amitabha Sutra. Pure Land adepts also wrote essays to explain Pure Land beliefs in terms of Great Vehicle Buddhism as a whole, and to answer objections to Pure Land teachings and clarify points of doubt. Some writers linked the Pure Land teachings to the other currents in Buddhism by picking out references to Amitabha's Pure Land and Buddha name recitation contained in the Buddhist scriptures and philosophical treatises not identified with the Pure Land school. There are many records of talks given by famous Pure Land teachers down through the centuries, and personal letters they wrote, urging people to adopt Pure Land practice as the most effective way to make progress on the Buddhist path. May all beings be well, may all beings be happy, may all beings be peaceful. Namo Adidafa. Thanks so much for joining me today.